welcome back to Trimble Garage. So today in this video, we're going to be getting Mustangs ready for the racetrack. Yes, we are going back to Area 27. We went back there in my Mach 1 back in April and had so much fun, decided to do it again. And this time the wife wants to take her 2015 Mustang GT out. So with that said, we need to get both the cars ready, and I'm going to practice the 5 Ps. What are the 5 Ps, you say? Well, proper planning prevents poor performance. So we're going to do a lot of preventative maintenance and also just going over the cars and make sure that everything is tickety-boo. And after the last track day with my Mach 1, it was pretty obvious that I don't think I could do another track day. Those tires just got absolutely shredded, and I don't want to risk running those tires on the track. So first thing I've done is gone ahead and bought some brand new tires. I have gone away from the Sport Cup 2s and gone with something different. So they've just come in at the airport, the warehouse there. I've got to go clear customs. So just go head over to the airport right now and start with picking up some new tires. All right, so just cleared customs with my paperwork for the tires. And now we're going to go to the warehouse where they're being held and paid my taxes here. So Jenny and I are going to get tires. I hate paying for tires.
And this is our new dog. This is Munchie, against Richard's will. A little miniature Korean toy poodle.
Yeah, those are big tires. All right, so these are the tires. Hard to believe, you know, back in the day when I used to drive the old Fox body Mustangs, I remember a guy had 305s on the rear, and that was insane. You know, to have 305s on the front and 315 rear, it's crazy. Anyway, I'll get these unloaded, bring them in the shop, and I'll show you what they are. So what I've gone with are factory setup. So I've got a staggered setup with the 305s on the front, 315s on the rear, but I've gone with Falcon Zenith RT660s. So I did a lot of reading online. There's actually not a lot of tires that you can get the factory size for the Mach 1s, but I did some reading. These seem pretty good. The Michelin Sport Cup 2s are a 180 tread wear. These are 200 tread wear. I did some reading online, and some people say they do start to delaminate. There's been some complaints on that, but I decided to go for it anyway. I did get these competition heat cycled, so that should help with tire longevity. I'm hoping. I've never done competition heat cycles before when buying tires, but they've got a nice tread pattern, probably a little bit better for the rain. If we do have rain with these tires, there's a little bit more groove, but they feel sticky, and I'm hoping they perform on the track. So what do you do with your Mustang before you put a set of new tires on? Yeah, you're right. You go smoke the old ones off. So I'm going to go find a secluded, out-of-the-way place where there's absolutely no one around, and I'm going to roast my old tires before I put these new ones on. I don't know when it's going to happen. I'll put it in this video somewhere, but yeah, we're going to have a bit of fun with those old tires before I get rid of them. So anyway, new tires is the first step. So the next thing I needed to worry about was brakes. Now my rear brakes, let's show you the rotors here. You can see my rotors are not very happy. It's kind of like the brake material is smeared, and there's actually quite a bit of material left, but I don't like that. I can't feel anything in the brake pedal, but anyway, so I got new rotors. Let's have a look at those. So new rotors and pads. These are the factory pads. I found that the brakes on the Mach 1, I didn't have any issue with them. I didn't really feel like spending a bunch of extra money on performance pads. These really weren't too expensive, so it's just easier for me to replace the rotors and stock pads. So I'll be doing that today, so that'll take care of my brakes. And yeah, soon I'll be getting those on. I've just got to roast these on. Actually, speaking of the rear tires, you can see normally you'd have a third line somewhere here on the tire, and the wear bars, it is the side here. It's definitely getting close to the wear bars. These tires, I really don't think I could get another track day on these. To be honest, I question how many kilometers were on them. I think there may have been more than 300 kilometers on these when I bought them, but who knows? Doesn't matter. They're going. I'm gonna roast these off soon. But anyway, get these brakes replaced. Interesting. I just pulled the rotors off my car. These rotors were on the outside of the caliper, and these ones were in the inside of the caliper. They're not the same, and the ones that I bought are different. I mean, material-wise, surface area, probably about the same. I don't know why they would have such a gap difference between them, but anyway, I'll be replacing them with those ones. Just interesting that those pads are not the same. All right, new brakes installed. Looks much better. So anyway, I'll put the tire back on, get the other side done. All right, so I'm looking at the wife's car. I just pulled off the front wheels and the front brake pads are definitely too low for doing a track day. So I'm ordering up some new brake pads. I took the cold air intake off. I got a JLT intake on this thing and I'm just cleaning it up. I just dumped a bunch of stuff all over the floor, pissed me off. But anyway, I gotta clean this thing. It is filthy. So that's the next thing I gotta do. All right, as for the rear pads, you can see they are good. They're almost right to the very end of the caliper. I forgot I did these pads just before I sold her the car, so I'm happy with the rear brakes. Just got to order front ones. So with the GT, I actually have Kona adjustable shocks. So with the little adjusting tool, you can get basically 2.5 turns from full soft to full hard. So I go 2 turns, so it's not full hard, but it's pretty hard. So I'm gonna adjust the front shocks and the rear to 2 turns to hard and let her get used to that, because it definitely makes a difference. A little stiffer ride, but yeah, it's nice to have those for sure. All right, got the air cleaner all cleaned up and re-oiled, reinstalled, so that's good. Basically now all I'm doing is waiting for parts to show up. All right, time to pull the front tires off. I'm gonna change those, drop them off at the tire store tomorrow. I just did a set of brakes on my buddy's 4Runner and an oil change. But now I'm back on the Mustang, so I'll get a couple of these tires loaded in my truck and the front tires off the Mach 1, and also do a little bit of inspection while I'm at it. So looking at my brakes, these were new when I went to the track. There's still plenty of tread left. I'm happy to continue these for another track day. Extremely dirty, the calipers, but I'm not going to wash these now, because if you probably know, you can see some witness marks here where the brake pad, if you wash your car and let it sit, they'll actually rust themselves pretty hard to the rotor. So I'm going to wait till the new tires are here, and then I'll then I'll wash these rotors and take it for a drive right away so that I can dry them out, because there's nothing worse than these things rusting onto your pads. Okay, so new front tires installed, cleaned up the calipers, took it for a quick drive to dry out those rotors so they're not gonna get all rusty, but I still haven't done anything with the backs, but we're getting there. Jenny, as you know, is taking her car on the track, so she got something to be ready for the track. So go ahead, open it up.
You made me wait just for him to get home so he could be
Yeah, you had to wait for me to get home.
This car behind me is obviously not my car.
No, it's not your car.
There it is. See this bad boy. Ooh, it's got a nice case. Okay. Okay. Okay, here she is. Ooh. Sticker's gotta go. That looks so dorky. Oh.
That fit better?
Yes.
That's white.
It's white, stays on.
All right, there you go. You got a helmet.
Got a helmet.
All right, back to the wife's car. I've got to put some new front brake pads in, as you know, and they have arrived. So I'll pop the wheel off here, and I'm not going to show you how to do it fully, but I'll show you kind of how easy it is on these cars. All right, so all you do to get these brakes out, it's really easy. 13 millimeter in the nut in the back, or bolt I should say, in the back here. Just crack that bolt loose. And what I do, drive this pin out. Like this. That clip comes out, and then I loosen this bolt, not all the way out, not quite all the way out, and use the nut to tap that. Pop this out, and then your last pin. Like that pin, and then your pads just Oh, they don't want to come out. So what you do then is take this little tool and get it on the inside of the calipers there, the pads, sorry, and just, it's like a little winch, a little lever. You just press the pads out. Oh, it'll work. And you just slide the pads out. And you can see there's not a lot of pad material left. It's probably a little less than half. You don't want to run a track day like that. So we'll pop those out and we'll just slide some new ones in. So the last thing you do before you push the pads back in is you got to push the pistons all out. So this thing, again, as you can see, when you tighten this screw like this, it'll spread these apart. So what I do is I push 2 pistons and then the other 2 pistons and the other 2 pistons. But you got to be careful because as you push 2 pistons out, you're also pushing some of the fluid back up to the master cylinder, but some of the fluid will be pushing the other pistons in. So you don't want to go too crazy. Keep an eye on it when you press these out, that you're not pressing the other ones in. So you have to go back and forth a few times to get them all the way out, and then your new pads will slide in. So there's the comparison, new to old, about half gone. I don't want to run pads like that, like I say, because once they start getting really thin, then you start to get too much heat transfer, and plus you can start having issues. So time to change them. I forgot I got a brand new hardware kit for these brakes, so I got to take those ones out and put brand new pins, and little brackets. So that's nice. I forgot I had those. All right, there we go. New hardware installed, so that's great. The brakes on both sides are done. Last thing I'm going to do, I'll wait for the wife to get home, is I'm going to flush some new brake fluid in. This has been in here a while, so I'm going to flush probably the rest of this bottle through the brake lines. And that's the front brakes done on this car. All right, so just flushed all the brakes. Actually, the oil in the calipers were pretty dirty, so I flushed a whole bottle of Model 600 in there, so that should be good. All right, got this thing jacked up. Let's get the rear tires off. We'll get them loaded up in the morning for the tire shop. I just got the rear tires back from the tire shop installed. Just gonna torque them down now. 150 foot-pounds. Don't forget, 150 foot-pounds. All right, you notice I've got the center caps off, both the front and rear tires, because yeah, they will melt if it gets too hot and brakes get hot. And with it being forecast as hot as it's gonna be at the track, you definitely want to remove your center caps. Also, these are rotational tires, so make sure your arrow is facing the right way. So obviously this is going that way, which is towards the front of the car. So tires are on. That is a big step done. Next thing to do on this, I think this is it. The last thing to do is the racing harness in the wife's Mustang. I gave the car a wash, checked all the fluids, brake fluid and engine oil. That's all good. One thing I noticed with this thing, there's a tree over by us that there's lots of bees in it, and it drops this yellow pollen that stains the paint. Let me show you. I just waxed this not that long ago, but see this stuff here? It does not come off. It's the worst stuff, and it's all over the car. Pissed me off. On the hood. Yeah, there's one on the hood there. Anyway, so what I just went and picked up was a clay bar kit from Mother's. I'm not sponsored by Mother's at all. I just do like their product. If you've never used a clay bar, do yourself a favor. Try it. Your paint comes out as smooth as a baby's backside, and it will get rid of all these spots you can see all over my paint, it really shows up on this color. So I'm going to be using that now. Also, I just thought I'd mention, if you do track your car, get this stuff, because as you know, it is really hard to get rubber off your paint from the tires, either from your own tires or from other people's tires. On the Mustangs, you'll get a lot in front of the back tire on the rear quarter panel. That really gets peppered pretty good. But anyway, this stuff just basically dissolves it. Obviously super safe for your paint. And I'd also mention, I think I did already, but when I flushed out the brakes on the wife's car, some fresh Model 600, you're gonna wanna use a high temperature brake fluid. So that's kind of the 3 products that I use for this day, or this track day coming up. One last thing I thought I should mention before I start clay barring this thing is what we're going into. We're heading into a heat wave where we are, and the track is forecast to be 40 degrees Celsius. That's about 104, roughly, around 105 Fahrenheit. Way, way, way hot. So we got an extra cooler today, went and picked one up. We're gonna have a lot of ice, tons of water, Gatorade, stuff like that. Obviously, the video that's going to be following this one will be the track day. You're going to see what it's like with the heat because it's going to be brutal. Oh, and one last thing. Let's go look at the wife's car. So I'm just checking the fluids on her car. Everything's looking good. It's also got a bunch of that crap on it. I'm going to be doing a clay bar and wax on it. But her harness for her driver's seat did not show up in time. So I have to actually dip into the States on my trip once I get to the mainland, go across the border where it's being held in a warehouse and pick it up, and I'll be installing it in that heat. Let's do a little time lapse of clay bar in this car. Got the trunk, roof, hood, rear quarter panel, door, half the front fender done. I gotta go work, start doing the other side, but that was probably about 40 minutes to get that done to that point. My car's not too bad because I've clay barred it before, but when you first clay bar it, it sometimes almost sounds like sandpaper, but it's shocking how smooth it comes out. The roof had a lot of that bee poop, I'll call it, pollen on there. It was heavily stained, so that's good. A little bit on the hood, but most of it was on the roof. So anyway, you get the idea. It's a lot of work. After I finish clay barring, then I'll go ahead and wax it, and then bring the wife's car in. 5.5 hours later, the car is waxed and looking absolutely beauty. She is ready to go. So tomorrow, I'm going to be bringing the wife's car in here, and I'm doing the same thing. All right, one of the last things we got was some number stickers. So I've got a couple of... It's funny, both Jenny and I, when she used to race bomber cars, way before I met her, her number was 88, and my number's been 88 forever. So we've got some 88s, and we got some for her helmet, and also some track decals to go on her window. Once she does the track for the first time, she'll actually officially get to put those on. But there's one sticker I'll let her explain. All right, so Jenny is very excited to do her first ever road course as a driver. And as I think I stated earlier in the video, her number when she was young and used to race bomber cars was 88, which ironically has always been my favorite number as a kid. So we're putting 88 on her helmet, and there you go, Jenny.
My brand new helmet.
Brand new helmet. Look at that. It's pretty special.
Raspberry, my favorite color.
All right, one more sticker that we got to put on here is this one here, which says Corey Fly With Me. This is for her little brother who 20 years ago, at the age of 21, died of Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a cancer. And Jenny was fortunate. She had the same cancer 6 months later, and she survived. So it's because of Corey's misfortune that she's as fortunate as she is. So this is really a really special sticker for Jenny, because he is with her in the car on the track and is going to keep her safe.
He paved the way for me to be able to race today, because it's because of him I'm here. So Corey, fly with me.
So that's pretty much got it. All our cars are ready to go. We're just getting some clothes packed up for the track. Yeah, Jenny's car is all cleaned up. She's happy. Got her stickers, and I've actually got her Where are we? Right here. I've got her stickers for her track when she finally does it. So speaking of stickers, if you guys are interested in numbers, road course stickers, if you go to deckelshut.ca, they've got everything you could ever want when it comes to decals, all kinds of colors and whatnot. And if they don't have a track that you're looking for, they can probably get it for you. And if you put Turnbull Garage in the discount code, you'll get 10% off. That's deckelshut.ca. I'll leave a link down below. But for now, that's it. That's the end of this video. Cars are ready to go. We're pretty pumped. Not looking forward to the heat. It's going to be smoking hot, but it should be a lot of fun. So the next video will be the cars on the track. So thanks a lot for watching and have yourself a great day.